What's up everyone, it's LeBron here with another episode of In Class, and today we're going to talk about two basic grinds. We're going to talk about the soul grind and we're going to talk about the acid grind, so keep it locked and stay tuned. So what is a soul grind? A soul grind is when you're grinding a rail or ledge and your back foot, where the sole plate foot is on, but your front foot is on the H block, which is a space in between your wheels, and you're using those 2 points to slide across the ledge or the rail that you're skating. So in step 1 of the video, we're going to talk about step-ons. Alright, so this is kind of how you want to kind of get yourself used to the positioning of, or at least getting used to locking the trick. And we always talked about stalls in the other videos and how to toss your body into these stalls. But as basic as the soul grind is, and if you're watching this video, it's because you can't soul grind. And so I'm going to assume this is probably one of your first grinds. And so here it is. So you're going to do a step on where you place your soul plate on, and then you're going to place the other foot, which is the H block foot, on. And you're going to practice doing that so you feel very comfortable to jump and do it simultaneously. So here's me just demonstrating the step on. All I'm doing is I'm putting my sole plate foot on, and then I'm putting my H block foot on afterwards. And you'll see me doing this on something low, and I suggest this if this is your first grind or the first trick you're learning as a grind. You want to do this on something low, something like a curb, or if you have a P-rail at home, do this on the P-rail. You know, something that you can just step onto without having to reach too high. And then you want to do this over and over again until you feel comfortable, you feel balanced, and you feel like you can jump off safely. So I got messages on Instagram, and some people who can already do some of the tricks that were put up on this channel were actually taking the steps and learning the trick switch. So if you can already do a soul grind, maybe just take these steps, for the basic grinds and learn a switch. Once you get all the basic soul tricks switch, you really just unlock other possibilities later on. Alright, so for the next step, we're going to do the same step on, but you're going to add speed to it. So first thing you want to do is just make sure that you're on an obstacle that you can grind. So if you're skating a curve, just make sure it's waxed. Ledge, make sure that it slides, and you want to rub your sole plate foot on there good. Make sure it can go back and forth smoothly, and then add speed to your step on. So just roll at a comfortable pace, not too fast, not too slow. Put your sole plate foot on first, and then your H block foot, and slide across and jump off safely. And do this until you're consistent, feel safe, you're balanced, and then we'll move on to step 3. Alright, so let's briefly talk about step-on grinds, and really how that's not the proper way to do the trick. I want to keep that in mind. It's okay when learning, to step your sole plate on and then step the other foot on so that you get comfortable. But the trick itself is to do it simultaneously. Both of your feet should be locking at the same time. And that's the proper execution of the trick. So I'm not going to steer you in the wrong direction in this channel. I'm not going to tell you, congratulations, you've done a step-on grind. It's not what we want to do here. I want to encourage you guys to learn how to do these tricks properly so that the other ones, you feel more comfortable and you're doing it right. There's a gradual progression if you're learning how to do these properly. So follow and listen. I had a lot of friends, a lot of OGs that told me, how to do things in a proper manner. And now I can do all the tricks, But they never lied to me, and I'm not going to lie to you. So you're learning the step-ons, that's cool. Learn it that way. But you want to do the trick, right? You want to do it properly, you got to learn how to lock your feet simultaneously. It'll help you with other grinds and building confidence to do other tricks the right way. Alright, so congrats, you made it to step 2.5. You're not at 3 yet, but I figured we'd practice stalling and just jumping and locking both feet in at the same time. We're here to teach you guys to do this in the proper way to make things easier later, so just practice doing that till you're consistent, and then we'll move on. Alright, so for step 3, we're just going to apply everything we've learned so far. But with this step, we're going to roll at a comfortable pace, we're going to jump, we're going to lock this grind with our feet locking at the same time. And we're going to slide across the obstacle comfortably, with balance, and then jump off safely. And really, you want to get this slow grind down pat. Do it consistent until you feel confident, because when it comes down to learning the acid grind, this is going to make the acid a lot easier if you have this down pat. And that's why I did a basic trick series to teach you guys you can really go from one trick to the next by applying everything you learn, making one small minor adjustment to the foot position, and boom, you've learned another grind. And really, I wanted to just do this with all the basic grinds, because once you get these all down solid, and then we start getting into more intermediate tricks or advanced tricks, it'll teach you that there is kind of a safe way to progress through tricks. And really, it's just about pushing your limits slowly, but also in a manner that, you're not jumping from A to D, so to speak, that you're going, in A, B, C, and D. You're getting all the fundamentals down and kind of preparing yourself for the next one. Quick little intermission. So that's pretty much the sole grind itself. Most importantly is just is focusing on your toe coming over. Once that you can get comfortable with that H-block trick being on the ledge or rail, whatever you're doing, it makes the trick just balanced. You don't want to be so dominant always on the sole foot. You want to even out the weight, between both legs and get comfortable, and then moving on to other tricks like the acid, for instance. It's just all about pushing your heel out, pretty much just turning your foot, pushing your heel out instead of your toes, and that's how you do an acid grind. So we're going to talk about that right now. So now let's talk about the acid grind, and the full name for this is actually acid sole grind. They're very similar. The only big difference here is instead of your toes facing the obstacle when you're sliding, your heels are going to be facing out. So sole plate on as the back foot, but the front foot, your heels are going to be facing the obstacle as opposed to your toes. Alright, so you're going to see me go through the same steps as I did with the sole grind and apply that to the acid grind. And now we understand why they're similar. So we're seeing that our sole foot is behind us and our H-block foot is in front of us. Right? So we put our sole plate foot on first when we're doing the step on, and our H-block foot on after. And instead of our toes facing the obstacle like the sole grind, our heels are going to be facing out for the acid grind. Now, let's talk about that, because this is a difference, and it's also pretty awkward, because as humans and most creatures on this planet, when we stand, our toes are facing forward. And it's very rare that we have to extend our heels out ahead of us. And it makes us feel awkward. It's pulling on muscles that are unfamiliar, and it just feels foreign. So doing this grind, it just feels a little bit different. And that's why it is a different grind, because it is different. You're going to jump, your heels are going to face out. It's going to put you in a weird position to balance funny. But if you follow the same steps like you did the sole grind, you will grow accustomed to it and you will master it. It just takes a little bit of adjustment. It's only a minor adjustment here. Just your heels facing out. So go through the natural progression like you did the sole grind with the stalls and everything. Apply that here with the acid, and you'll see that in time, you'll master it. Alright, so that's going to do it for this week's episode of In Class. So today we went over 2 basic grinds, the sole grind and the acid grind, and next week we're going to group 2 other ones together, being the misery grind and the porn star grind. Now, kind of the direction I want to go with this channel moving forward is I do want to do the polls. We'll do a poll twice a month to break down more advanced tricks, but the channel itself will be weekly videos explaining the basics and gradually pushing the limits into the more advanced tricks. So it's going to take some time. But it's how I learned how to get into the advanced tricks. I started with grinds just like this, and I pushed my limits slowly until I was doing all the hard stuff. So I want to share it through my experience and explain through my experience, and that's really my overall goal with the channel, is to just teach and explain and help those start from basics to the advanced stuff. And that's it. If you haven't, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell so you get the notification each time I upload a video. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me at LeBron_skates. Feel free to message me, DM me about tricks you're learning. If you have any further questions about videos like this or critiques, message me, hit me up. I'm always down to explain and break things down as best as I can through a text. And that's it, man. I really thank you guys all for your support. For all the comments, the likes, and everyone's feedback. I really appreciate it, and I tried to apply it directly And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next week.